Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Troy Allen Galat. Welcome to Trigger Time TV, brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters. All right guys, Tatiana Whitlock talks about dry fire practice, something that none of us do enough of.
Hi folks, Tatiana Whitlock here with Trigger Time TV. Let's talk a little bit about bridging the gap between the range and the world that you live in every day. There's a lot of artificiality that takes place at the range. Obviously, we don't live in an open field with the berm, concrete lanes, and target stands. We live in a house with furniture and walls and spaces. So let's try and make that more real when we go to the range and give ourselves some tools to do so that are meaningful. Obviously, the yardage markers that we have pre-designated at the range are fairly arbitrary but useful for training, 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. But is that relative to us when we go home? I'm preparing for someone to break into my house to try and hurt my family. So I want to understand what those distances truly are in the spaces where I would potentially have to fight to defend them. What is the shortest, kind of mid-range, and longest shot you might have to take in your house without going hands-on or close quarters combatives? It's going to be scary, it's going to be a little bit harsh to think about, but consider it. What does that really look like? First tool you're going to need is a tape measure. Super simple, we all have one, but it's going to be very useful. Let's take a look at what that shortest distance, hopefully, would be for you. From your bedroom door to the nightstand, where for many folks you carry or store safely and professionally your home defense or concealed carry gun. In this space, it's 10 feet. So are we training at 10 feet at the range? It's going to be very important to be able to have that number. The next thing we need is our cell phone or a camera. So what we're going to do is, from this place where I would have to draw and engage with the gun, I'm going to take a picture of that environment. And of course, for the purposes of training and demonstration, we're going to use an inert Glock 17R, which has a resetting trigger, no firing pin, and an empty magazine to work with. Now, you have your home defense gun. Can you present, draw, and see what it looks like to have to engage from this position, a place you normally are in your everyday life, to that point of entry where the bad man would come in the room? So now let's consider an interim, mid, and long distance. For a lot of folks, myself included, that interim mid distance is your stairwell. Average length can range between 15 and 20 feet, depending on the landings and where you expect to be standing. Again, take that camera out, take the picture, bring it with you to the range. Moving on, what's the longest shot you could take in your home? For many folks, it is, if you have an open concept house, from the front door to the dining room across the living room. Now obviously, we're going to do the same thing and measure this out. In this house, it's measuring at about 29 feet. Have you been shooting at exactly 29 feet, 30 feet? Whatever is pretty close, but it's a real number, it's a real value with real meaning. We'll do the same thing. We'll understand our points, we'll take that picture, and then with a clear gun, we're going to draw and see what that feels like. It should feel a little awkward. It should feel uncomfortable. This is your home. While we're preparing for it, have you taken a look at what that would look like or feel like on the other end of a gun? So, slowly, safely reholstering for dry fire or for an inert trainer. All of this information is super valuable. Take that raw data, that actual footage between point A and point B that you would probably be in. Bring it with you. Bring those photographs with you. Visualization is a huge, huge training tool. If it's good enough for Olympic athletes to use, it's good enough for us too. Bring all of that information, take it with you to the range, bring your measuring tape, measure yourself out from that distance, reference your image, take a deep breath, and burn that target down. All of this is so valuable because it gives you actual context to train for the fight of your life in the context of your life.
Trigger Time TV is brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters, Glock Perfection, Velocity Systems, Mayflower Research and Consulting, Lucid Optics, Bravo Company USA, Lucas Oil Outdoor Line, Christensen Arms, Silencer Co., Primary Weapon Systems, Law Tactical, Nemo Arms, Flint River Armory, and ammunition provided by Gorilla.